about insurance. That's the most important thing for us as drivers, is how are we covered in the event that something happens to us under our drives as we're driving. We all know you get $1 million umbrella policy with Uber and Lyft, and then of course if you have your own commercial insurance, then you're covered in that capacity as well. That is a big area of concern for me.
Hello guys, I want to start this video on Tryp because a lot of Uber tubers are talking about Tryp does not have insurance, when in fact Tryp does. And in fact Tryp has pretty much the same insurance that Uber has, but which I will show you in a little bit, might be actually a little better. Okay, let's get into the video. Tryp Insurance, TRYP RIDES Insurance. Tryp Technologies insurance policy does not cancel or replace the driver's personal auto insurance policy. Therefore, all drivers employed by Tryp Technologies are required to follow and maintain minimum state and local personal auto insurance policies when Tryp Rides application is turned off. Only the driver's personal auto insurance is liable for any damages or accidents. So right here, the policy is that if the driver does not have the Tryp app on, their personal insurance is liable for any damages. So if you have the insurance of the General, Geico, Nationwide, just to name a few, they will cover any accidents that you as the driver may incur. As soon as the application is turned on, employee drivers of Tryp Technologies will be insured by both Tryp Technologies insurance policy and the driver's personal auto insurance policy. So right here, when you have the Tryp app turned on, you will be insured by both insurance companies, both your personal insurance and Tryp's insurance policies, okay? This applies to periods of time in which the driver is available to provide passenger transportation but has not accepted any request waiting periods between pickups and after passengers are dropped off. So there are 3 periods with this particular insurance, okay? Now it goes in depth, okay? Now here we go. Period 1. Driver is waiting to be assigned a passenger. In event of a collision, death or personal injury while the driver has not yet been assigned a rider, Tryp Technologies insurance policy will provide coverage of $50,000 for death and personal injuries per person, $100,000 for death and personal injury per accident, and $30,000 for personal property damage. Okay, so right here, this is when you are driving as a Tryp driver and you have not yet picked up a rider or not been assigned a rider. So you're just driving around. This policy will cover you up to $50,000 for death and personal injuries per person. Per person now. $100,000 for death or personal injury per incident, and $30,000 for property. Now all of those in that particular period is the same as Uber's policy, but the only difference is the $30,000. Guess what Uber's personal property damage is, as you will see later on in the video? It's only $25,000. So would you rather have $25,000 on your property damage, or would you rather have $30,000 on your property damage? That's what it comes down to. Everything else, as you will see, is the exact same as Uber's. Okay, now period 2. When a driver has accepted the ride but the passenger is not yet in the vehicle. This is when a person beams you for a ride and you're going to get them. Tryp Technologies insurance policy will provide coverage of up to $1 million in the event of a collision, death, or personal injury. That $1 million covers you in a death, in collision, death, and personal injury. So where did you hear $1 million coverage at? You hear that in Uber's policy. Guess what? We have that exact same thing with Tryp. Tryp Technology Insurance, this is the third period, okay? When a passenger has been picked up and until the passenger is dropped off, Tryp Technology Insurance will provide coverage of up to $1 million in the event of collision, death, or personal injury. So this is when you picked up the person and taking them to their destination and dropping them off. You are covered all the way up to $1 million in damages, personal injury, or death. Now, that's the same thing as Uber's policy. Now, if you do not believe me, guess what? I pulled the information directly off of the Uber website. You can go look this up yourself. Insurance rideshare drives for Uber, okay? Offline or Uber app is off. Your chosen personal insurance company and coverages will apply. Is that not the same thing that Tryp does? I believe that is. Available for waiting for a ride request. Third party, okay? Liability of your personal auto insurance doesn't apply. $50,000 in bodily injury, okay? Per person. They're the same thing that Tryp has. $100,000 in bodily injury per accident. They're the same thing that Tryp has. $25,000 in property damage per accident. Guess what? Tryp is better than that because they insure you up to $30,000. That's right, $30,000. So go back and look in the video if you do not believe me. Okay? Now, en route to pick up riders and during trips, you are covered up to $1 million in third-party liability. So, this is the same thing that Tryp has, but you get $5,000 more in your personal property. So, all in all, Tryp Technologies and Uber have the same insurance, but Tryp gives you $5,000 more on your personal property. Now, that concludes our video for today. This is your educational video. We'll share. Now go to our website and sign up. www.trypgosc.com and sign up. It's free, no risk. So, get going. Have a great day.